pandemic destroy a lot of opportunities. Have you ever imagined how this pandemic changed people's lives? In this pandemic, we all know that a lot of people struggles because living through a pandemic is something many of us have never imagined. The flow of life feels forever changed, and the crisis seems unending. A lot of people die, lose their jobs, and being apart to their loved ones is not that easy. These challenges affect everyone's life. Families struggling with food, and the students struggle who had limited access to education are falling even further behind without technology and infrastructure for distance learning. And as a student, participating in the home learning program was confusing to adjust to us. We had not been prepared in this kind of situation. I myself was also struggling in this kind of home learning program. It's kinda hard to adjust, and I honestly say that sometimes I'm mentally and physically tired. But God made me realize that I need to see the positive side of it, that I can do it. I won't let this pandemic destroy my future. I won't let this pandemic not to pursue my dreams in life. Instead, I will make it as a motivation, as an inspiration to aim more, to strive harder for my ambition. Because God let this happen for a reason. And whatever reason is that, we just need to trust Him. We all know that it is not easy to stay at home. We all know that it is not easy for those lying in the hospitals. And I do know that it's not easy for those who lose someone because of this disease. That's why it is very important to enjoy every moment of our lives. That's why it's very important to live to the fullest. This situation has shown us that we are all the same, regardless of our religion, regardless of our culture, whether we are rich or poor. The virus simply does not choose. We've experienced a lot of struggles, challenges in this pandemic, and we thought it is the end of our life. We thought that we can't get through with this crisis. But look at we now. We are still in here, strong, and still fighting. We are still alive, and thanks to God. All these complex challenges intertwine and overlap. It makes everyday life even more difficult and dangerous for people. Although we face those challenges, the humanity of people still exists. We saw people around the world come together and help each other, providing financial support for those people who need it most. In this pandemic, suddenly we realize that money is not that powerful, and power is not that valuable. You know, why is everything so uncertain in this world? I don't know. No one will ever know. But I do know one thing. We don't need to focus on the uncertainties. We just don't need to focus on the money. We don't need to focus on the material things that we have. This situation has taught us that everything our lives used to revolve around is so temporary. It has taught us that it's our own home and family that keeps us safe. We finally learned the fact that it's not how we spend our time, but who we spend it with. As the coronavirus continues to spread, we appeal evermore to our strongly God, who is God of hope and God of healing. At the end of the day, all we need is hope and strength. Hope that it will eventually get better, and the strength to hold on till it does. Whatever hardship, whatever challenges, indecisions, and fears that we are facing today, we always just need to remember that this too shall pass, and by the grace of God, we will overcome. Tomorrow is still full of wonderful possibilities, that there's light in this darkness. I just remember one thing. I'll always put it in my mind, especially nowadays that we face a lot of challenges and struggles in this kind of situation, in this pandemic. It's a Bible verse, Jeremiah 29, verse 11. God says that, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This Bible verse makes me motivated every day to continue and to keep going and not to give up in my life. That was the message of God for all of us. And that's the reason why I'm still fighting and not losing hope. Because I always do believe that there's always hope amidst this pandemic.